Welcome to STARCARD Podcast. Here at STARCARD Podcast, we're getting a good gander at the age of Aquarius ahead of us. My name is Breakaway Ray. I like talking about the breakaway civilizations because we're breaking away from the one we're in now. And you've tuned into a live tarot throw. Today is February 25th, 2026. I want to share with you what's on the agenda. We're going to start off with 2 cards for now, 2 cards for later. That's right. We're going to throw 4 cards total to give you something inspiring for right now, and then 2 cards to give you a thought that you can have later on. After that, we'll show you all the tarot decks that are available in case you're tuning in live and you'd like a reading today. Please check my instructions in the chat. All you have to do is type in all capital letters, tarot please. And in about 35 minutes, I'm going to check the chat and see who would like a reading. It's so much fun. Thanks for inviting me to read, everybody. Also, after 2 cards for now and 2 cards for later, I'm going to present a late night style monologue. And then we're going to invite the tarot world to respond. So here are some of the concepts coming up today that the tarot world's going to respond to. The role of education, which is intergenerational transmission of knowledge in today's zeitgeist. How much of what's playing out in the world around us today has to do with education and how all of our minds have been shaped by it. Then, be forewarned, we're going to pose a question about human trafficking. We're going to discuss the fate of the White House, and I'm actually talking about the old world building. The old world building. That's the part of the White House I'm talking about, the actual structure. And I wanted to ask this one of the tarot cards. So if you're tuning in live or you're catching the recording, I'm glad you're going to be here to witness the magic. I'm asking the tarot world, what is the key to disgorging the oligarchs and to recovering the commons? And I'll tell you a little bit more about what I mean when we get to that part of the show. And then after all that, after we hear from the tarot world, well, that's when we're going to tarot for the audience, everybody. But now we're going to start off the show with 2 cards for now, 2 cards for later. Here we go, everybody. Let's go to the tarot cam. Okay, good. All right, I see that I have just as many viewers as likes right now. I'm all excited. What school teacher doesn't like 100% on his work? Okay, we're going to turn on the lights. So I was so excited yesterday pulling out what I call the light foil deck. It reminded me so much of Art Deco, particularly what I've witnessed in New York City. So I thought, you know what, 2 cards for now, 2 cards for later. Let's go with the Art Deco deck, the light foil deck. Trying to adjust the camera just right here. You see some of the other decks standing by, but we'll talk about them in a moment. There we go. I can handle that. All right. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in whenever you're tuning in. All right, Tarot World, we got some friends catching this recording. I know you want to share an inspirational message, one that they can have right now and one that they can remember for later. I wonder if the 2 events, the now and the later, have some kind of tie. Like there'll be something in common, a person, place, or thing. All right, that sounds like the first one right there. My eyes are closed, everyone, and it looks like the tarot world's totally working its magic. So for 2 cards for now and 2 cards for later, I pull off the top card for the first card and the bottom off the deck for the second. That's 2 cards for now. And then I fan for 2 cards for later, and I also cut. All right. It already looks great. It's like the table is set for the holidays. 2 cards for now, 2 cards for later. Here we go, everyone. It's for entertainment purposes only. Let's have some fun. It's, wow, check that out. Double knights. We got the Knight of Wands and the Knight of, is that the Knight of, let me check. Oh, beg your pardon. That ain't no knight. That's death. That's the death card, everybody. Wow. Well, we do have 2 equestrians there. 2 dramatic equestrians. Hey, is this going to work better if I go like this? Okay, so for right now, everybody, This kind of, again, people have heard me say this before if they've tuned into StarCard. It sounds like the tarot world, it already understands the theme of today's program. So we're being encouraged to gallop energetically into the correct direction. Okay. And the death card represents endings and beginnings and transformations. It's kind of like how I introduced the show. Did you see the way the card that just floated toward me there? Okay. I think, I think we're all supposed to say, the tarot world and I, thanks for joining us as we charge forward to break away from this civilization. We're introducing some ideas that would, in the outside world, outside of this podcast, be deemed quote unquote crazy. And yet at the same time, there's probably parts of it that sound, very, very true to us. That might help us as we go through our day, not to take things so seriously either way, either the stuff we don't see or the stuff that we do see, because it's all just a temporary ride. Surface planet Earth's just an amusement park, and we're so excited to be here to go on the rides. So that's for right now. We're energetically charging towards some kind of transformation, some kind of ending and a new beginning. I hear that a lot about 2026 for a lot of people. So maybe there's a lot of positive transformation coming our way. How many times have you heard people talk about karma and how things have to balance out? Haven't things been dragging on, dragging us low for a long time here? I think all that's coming around like the wheel of fortune. All right. So those of you who have an ocean next to you, you know what I'm talking about. Get ready to catch the wave. Okay. It's going to be a lot of fun to ride that wave. Both of these guys are riding horses. All right, let's go. 2 cards for later. Yes, I did see that. I don't know how that came. I'm going to have to check the video. I don't know why that card's out. 2 cards for now, 2 cards for later. And then this one's just sitting there. Anyway, let's go back downstairs. 2 cards for later. I'm really excited, everybody. We have the Chariot and the 3 of Wands. And the 3 of Wands is the expansion card. And we could be talking about the expansion of one's own consciousness. The 3 of Wands also talks about luck is where preparation meets opportunity. So, if you want to see extraterrestrials, you start practicing now. You get your mindset and you get your thoughts together so that you're not freaked out when it happens. Not quite sure why that came to me. But then here's the Chariot card. And the Chariot card talks about movement. And, you have to have both beasts of burden in the front, the 2 sphinxes. You have to have the light one and the dark one. Both of them have to go together, okay? Because we're all in the same big boat, to quote the Police from one of the songs from the Ghost of the Machine album. Very good. So, right. So if we're talking like cosmically and our place in it, okay, we're all charging together here at StarCard Podcast with the idea of a transformation, and we want to capitalize on this change and make it good for everybody and float everyone's boat. Therefore, we're going to keep studying the situation with the 3 of Wands. So we're lucky, quote unquote, when that opportunity arises, and we're going to keep on going. We ought to see the 2 of Wands, which says, the universe likes our plan, and we have the green light, we should go. All right, now what's with this mysterious card over here? We have to check this out. Hey, everybody. So the 3 of Pentacles shows up, and that talks about, implementing something, beginning something. If you never really thought about your place cosmically and why you're here and what energies you're supposed to adjust in the time you have left, okay, now's the time to talk to your spirit guides about that. So I invite you all to, further your communication with your spirit guides, develop it, make it a ritual. And also another way to make sure that you have a response so that you're not just using your imagination. Another way to do that is to begin by writing it down. You may not always need to write it down, but it's a good way to refine, how you perceive things and to make sure that you're getting the right messages. You're not just making things up. Well, what did we learn? Is there a simple way to do it? Okay, so 2 cards for now, 2 cards for later. How's this help me before lunchtime today, Breakaway Ray? Okay, keep going at it. there's a transformation involved and you can handle it. That's why, you look so good. You're all prepared while you go on your journey. And later on, you're going to have a good view of all the good work that you're doing and the place that you're going. I mean, even the whole thing that he's looking into looks hypnotic. He's like looking into a portal, looking into the future. Okay. And that's why we keep going. The future is promising. We have spirit guides to help us along the way. Okay, everybody. That was great. Thank you, Tarot World. Let's go upstairs right after I give these cards a toss. Thanks a lot, Tarot World. Great imagery. As usual, always magical. Oh, you know what? We're not going to go upstairs yet. You want to see which decks are available, right? So we have one called the Robin Wood Tarot. That's this deck right here. Features, there we were just talking about the Wheel of Fortune, I think. There's the Wheel of Fortune. Features some of the classic imagery that most tarot decks go to when they come up with their own design, their own artwork. Okay, we have what I call the Classic Tarot because it's called the Classic Tarot. And that's the deck right here. Sweet. How about some truth for you? Here's the King of Swords. In the Classic Tarot, it has the words right on the card. So if you're learning tarot, this is a great way to accelerate your learning. The words are right on the card. You don't have to look it up in a book every time. Okay. I have one called the Ethereal Bloom Tarot. I have a big crush on this deck. Oh, sweet. I just pulled out the Fool. It's a new beginning, a new adventure. I like all the flowers and the sparkling imagery of the Ethereal Bloom deck. I pulled out the Mermaid deck today. Which card did I pull here? 10 of Pentacles, Divine Harmony, Domestic Bliss. Hey, everybody, dinner served. All right. Hang on. What else have I got? I've got the Craft cards, which is Rider Waite imagery. The Lost Soul Tarot. I'll just quickly show you look at that. It's like gold sides. And here we have the Page of Cups, the happy surprise guy. Doesn't that guy look happy? Wow. All right. So if you're in the mood for the Lost Soul, let me know and we'll do a full unboxing. All right. I have the dark foil version of the deck that we just used. And that's from the light foil. Those are the guys that we used. Okay, here's the old style tarot. Would love to unbox it. Just request it. I've got the 88 gemstones down here. It's another gold foil deck. A lot of fun to throw. And I have the stained glass tarot and the neon tarot. I got my eye on my internet marketplace. I got like one or two decks I'm eyeballing. Very interested in, as you can imagine, old style decks. The older the better. I want to know what they were doing a couple hundred years ago. I don't want its derivative here in the 21st century. Let me, as long as I'm tidying up my desk, here we go. All right. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. So I'm going to present a late night style monologue. And usually I catch a monologue or two from the late night programs thanks to, digital video recording. We didn't have that a long time ago. So I can watch it any time of day. I don't have to stay up late night to catch it. So, I also want to say that we here in the United States, we just had the State of the Union address yesterday. And I want to basically disclose to everyone that I did not watch the State of the Union address. I did not watch it. And a lot of times it's very difficult for me as a citizen here in the United States to even watch the news because, I'm sure we can all agree that there's a lot of emotion involved when we see what's going on and what they present to us in the news. What I do get, however, is the news translated by stand-up comedians, right? Because I tune in after they've delivered their monologue, they've taken the trauma and turn it into a joke. And, that's easier for me to digest. But I have to say that sometimes I get upset when we take the stuff that's so serious and we trivialize it by using humor, just so that we can console ourselves, but then we normalize it. And that's not from my point of view, that's not fun. I think that's like a slippery slope. They say. I'm sure they could say it better than me. The other thing that bothers me, so I really enjoy Will Ferrell, the comedian and actor. He's immensely talented. There's not a single thing he has ever done that I did not like. I think he's just hilarious. Anyway, but I'm not saying I didn't like it. I liked his performance as George W. Bush on Saturday Night Live. But my problem is he made that candidate so adorable that I think he helped him get elected. And I don't think that panned out so well. Now, I understand now that it probably didn't matter one way or the other, but I don't like the idea of taking like the people in the highest office in the land and turning them into clowns. That's not what they're there for. It's not a wrestling match. So, there's so many things that are important that government can help with. And the laws are already written. We don't need to rewrite new laws. Well, and anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't see the State of the Union address. And because I'm the host of STARCARD Podcast with a bunch of zany ideas, I'm deciding to present to you a late night style monologue with my own jokes. And then we'll invite the tarot world to respond to the monologue. All right. I got to adjust my light. Okay, one moment, please. One moment. Just kidding. Welcome to STARCARD Podcast. I'm Breakaway Ray. Yo, how's it going? And now let's get to the news. Last night, here in the United States, the State of the Union address was delivered. When channeled for comment, I'm going to start that joke over. Ready? I'm going to start the whole show over. Here we go. I did practice. All right, but let's start over. Welcome to STARCARD Podcast. I'm Breakaway Ray. Yo, how's it going? And now let's get to the news. Last night in the United States, the State of the Union address was delivered. When channeled for comment afterward, the ghost of black magician Aleister Crowley agreed with Satan that it looks like everything's going really good. Also, when channeled for comment, the ghost of Michael Aquino said he couldn't be prouder of his son, JD. Yesterday, studies show that sex trafficking survivors received even more attention in the news in the run-up to the State of the Union address. Meanwhile, secret space program survivors continue receiving no attention in the news for the next 2 centuries. Leadership in the United States has recently commented on the existence of extraterrestrials. This was in response to questions about the release of the Epstein files. While the U.S. government mulls over which country to bomb next, and its citizens wonder why and where Congress is and watch their wallets get crushed by tariffs, China already has tested its U.S. invasion plan. Distract the United States with white balloons while landing their invasion force of kung fu robots. Today, a 15-year-old Tommy Jackson from Hannibal, Missouri, invented a perpetual motion machine in his garage. This promises free energy, making the electrical grid irrelevant. And I'm just being told that this never happened, and there is no Tommy Jackson, and no one got drafted into an off-world breakaway civilization. The oligarchs orchestrating the mayhem around the world were not in the news today. This met with the approval of officials from Planet Vesta, which was also not in the news today. The thoughts, feelings, and opinions of billionaires and world leaders named in the Epstein files were probed. When asked to rate their concern or anxiety on a scale of 1 to 10, they laughed. Then they went back to watching the movie They Cloned Tyrone. Finally, plans for a memorial to the old world building known as the White House in Washington, D.C. are in the works. Now that the East Wing has been demolished and the rest is slated to come down before the end of 2027, there should be enough to distract the public from responding to the policy of not prosecuting anyone named in the Epstein files. That was a monologue. It made me laugh when I write it. All right, so now we're going to go and invite the tarot world to comment on some of those ideas I just presented. Then it'll be time for tarot with the audience. Okay, so first up, the role of education, intergenerational transmission of knowledge in today's world. How much of this is all just programming starting right from kindergarten? And then when you talk about education, of course, you're talking about institutionalized education, what the bulk of humanity, well, the bulk of humanity in the United States is supposed to get. Well, anyway, let's go downstairs. We don't want to hear me elaborate. Let's let the tarot cards elaborate. And I'm going to use the classic cards with the words on them. See if we can get a lot of information. Whoops. Okay, one moment, please. All right, great. I don't want to get my intentions muddled. All right, here we go, Tarot World. We'd like to ask for your comment on the role of education. I'm sure you have something empowering to say about how empowering education is and what we can do to adjust education so that it does empower and not enable a system that doesn't work anymore, right? We're trying to break away here. Thank you, Tarot World. What is the role of education in breaking away? How can you break away if you have an institutionalized system? Oh, yeah, well, you would have the internet. We didn't always have that around. Okay, the role of education in breaking away. Here we go. The role of education in breaking away. And then we're just going to pick one as a final comment. This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm having fun. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Here we go. The Wheel of, the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, yo, it's our friend, the Knight of Wands. See? Anyway. Hey, the King of Swords. That's the truth. Yay. The Ace of Pentacles. The Tarot World says, hey, everybody, it's time to gallop forward towards the truth because this is a new opportunity for everybody. So I guess it's a good idea to pay attention to the role of education. We just can't leave it to the bureaucrats. You know, I am a sponsor. I personally, I don't speak for the Tarot World here. I personally approve of public education. I think that you should have it. But obviously, there's some changes that have to be made. But that's across the board. You know, it's not just for kids in school. It's for people planet-wide. What is our history? What does science mean? What is a soul? All right, so this is a gift from God for all of us to go after the truth, everybody. Now it's time. Yay, the Nine of Cups says it's a wish come true. Sweet. Thank you, Terra World. So, hey, everybody, you getting a flavor for that personality? I mean, I know on some days it seems like there's like more than one personality, a different kind, but that was definitely uplifting and motivating and empowering. All right, next up, human trafficking. All right. So I realized that today I was trying to be funny and take a serious subject and make a joke out of it just to put the subject on the table. But there's nothing funny about human trafficking. And now it's going to sound like I'm trying to sell my book. Over here in the corner is one of the 2 books I published. Let's Go Off Planet with Breakaway PAY features a new story called Down Under, Down Under, Down Under, in which someone who is very skilled in the sciences and arts of blanking people's memories realizes that he can only do his job, in the secret space program atmosphere and dynamics, the one that's hidden from most of us on surface planet Earth. And he also realizes that the entire civilization that he is in, the people like us who don't know about the secret space program and everyone else out in space, okay, he realizes that the whole ensemble of that civilization is predicated on human trafficking. And that's a grim observation for him. And I'm sure it's a grim thought for all of us. So I'm not making light of this, but I'm also not going to go into details about it. I would encourage you to not only subscribe to Typical Skeptic Podcast, where that is often a subject, but there's a lady named Emma, and she's over at the Imagination Podcast, and she's extremely good at talking about these kinds of things. So anyway, I'd like to hear from the Tarot world about, what should our perspective be? Everyone tuning in to StarCard Podcast, you hear my voice. And also I'm asking from my own point of view. I want to be helpful. I want to be positive. I think that presenting this is like a good thing, even though lots and lots of people talk about it. But maybe they're not sharing what the Tarot world has to say. So here we go. Let's hear what the Tarot world has to say about the subject of human trafficking. And it's such these cards are fine. This is also great artwork from a long time ago, but I would like to go to, Robin Wood on this one, just because the symbology seems like it might be more appropriate for this subject. All right. Hey, Tarot world. You heard what we had to say, and we don't want to say too much. I certainly present a grim image of it. What would you like to say about human trafficking? How can we help? I understand talking about it is part of it. Seems like everybody's talking about it. We invite you to comment and encourage us. Okay, there's a couple of cards there. My eyes are closed. I don't know what those cards are. And thank you for, the tarot world is going to be gentle and diplomatic and delicate about this. Okay. All right. I didn't see what the cards were. Here we go. The tarot world on, February 25th, 2026. Here we go on this particular subject. This is for entertainment purposes only. All right. The tarot world means business, everybody. The Ace of Swords talks about the truth. The Emperor talks about control. And the Wheel of Fortune, if you remember from the very last toss, okay, says it's time. And now knowledge is power. And now is the time to be empowered. I like it. This could just be a very simple set of instructions. You better all think about it. And it says the Four of Swords, which is the meditation card. And the Two of Wands says, and make a plan. You better think about it and make a plan. But you need to keep the whole world, in mind. It's a worldwide phenomenon that we are talking about. Also, remember how the tarot world just told us that it's time and that we have the knowledge and we are empowered. Okay. Now we have to take those ideas and in general, strike up some kind of strategy so that, we have a plan that saves our energy and saves humanity. All right. Touchy subject. Was that not diplomatic, everybody? Way to go, Terra World. Thank you very much. Clever terminology. Okay, what's next? I got two more, everybody. Oh, yeah. I am a big fan of the old world buildings, and I am concerned about the fate of the White House. I realize that not all of our StarCard podcast visitors are here in the United States. So allow me to say that, that the thing that happened to the East Wing, and, it's a pattern, by the way, it should not have happened. It was supposed to have been approved by Congress, and that doesn't seem to be, one of the procedures that's being followed right now. So I'm actually concerned about this particular building because I've seen enough of these old world buildings vanish, get destroyed, disappear. They're disappeared from history. They're not in any history books. So anyway, I wonder what, is the White House going to be okay? Because part of it is gone. Let's go to the mermaid deck. Here we go. Terra World, I would be reassured if you could tell me that the White House is going to be okay. And of course, likewise, all the old world buildings, we need to hold on to them. There ought to be a moratorium on touching those buildings anymore. But anyway, just specifically the White House. Terra World, is the White House going to be okay? What's the story with the White House, please? I almost had it. Sorry, everybody. Let's try that one more time. Can we see the timeline for the White House, please? I'm sorry about the East Wing. What's going on? The cards will not come together on this. Is that supposed to be some kind of analogy? It's not coming together. Is the White House going to be okay? Thanks, Tarot World. You could put me at ease. You could show me a sun card. Everything's going to be all right. Sounds good to me. I got my fingers crossed, everybody, right? Let's see what the Tarot World has to say. Is the White House going to be all right? We have the the Knight of Wands. Let's go right to a book and read about the Knight of Wands. Let's find out exactly what we're being the Knight about. The Knight of Wands, a journey, practical action taken in spite of distractions, a change of residence. Ooh. All right, change of residence, that doesn't sound good. And it also says, what I like is practical action taken in spite of distractions. We're trying to be, we want to be practical and we don't want to get distracted. But it sounds like there's going to be a change of residence. Somebody thinking about a place down in Florida. Anyway, next, the 10 of Pentacles. Well, that does talk about domestic harmony. Let's read about 10 of Pentacles from the book, because I want to be precise here. The 10 of Pentacles, prosperity, riches, home and family matters, positive domestic changes. So we heard about a residence change, a domestic change. Then the 5 of Swords. Well, that talks about abuse and winner take all. And you know what? This is not sounding good. I mean, there's a certain flavor coming out here. And the last one says the Hangman. A hangman doesn't sound good at all. And also it tells us to have another look at something. All right, well, give us one more bit of information, please. Hang on. These are great cards. I want you to be able to see them. What's this last card here? It's the World. Completion. All right. So here's where I hope I am wrong. I mean, I took a wild guess. I want to know that the building was going to be okay. Domestic change, residence change, Five of Swords, abuse, winner take all attitude. The Hangman, nobody expected it coming. And it probably does affect the world, doesn't it? That particular building. Well, Tarot World, I want to thank you for your message. I'm grateful for the message and the knowledge. I can't let my emotions get the best of me, but I can make a plan like the Two of Wands guy, and we can be practical about this, and we can change the future. Our collective intention. Wow, that was pretty. I'm not done. Wait, no, I got another one. Here's my last one. So my whole thing is, there's a lot of people who have a lot of power just because they have a lot of money. And this is quite a different time in history, according to the history books. So what I want to know is, what is the key to disgorging the oligarchs of their power and recovering the commons, making sure that abundance is shared with all of us, okay? And it's not just, thrown in a treasure chest for a couple of people. Like, I don't want to hear like, come on, Breakaway Ray, be nice. These guys donate money to charity. Yeah, I don't really have respect for their ethics, and I don't want to rely on whether these guys with, maybe not a great moral compass in the first place, they're only donating because it's a tax write-off or because they think it's cool. What makes their imagination better than mine? We already have a system for this. Okay. That's why we systematize and nationalize things, so that everyone has access to the same abundance. But anyway, I'm really talking pie in the sky, and I'm getting all excited about it. So let's settle down and let's go right with this deck again, the classic deck with the words. What is the key to disgorging oligarchs and recovering the commons? Well, as I cut the deck to shuffle, how about these for messages? The Hermit says to look inward. That is true. We really do have to evaluate the situation. And how much does the Five of Pentacles really represent what's going on in the world today? What is the key to disgorging the oligarchs and recovering the commons for everyone? Is there hope for that? Can that happen? Or is this just the way it's going to be the next 300 or 400 years? Can we disgorge the oligarchs and recover the commons? What's the story behind that? Here we go. I spotted someone's message in the chat. Disgorging is one of the words that they used. Like, well, I shouldn't interrupt my own throw here, but I'm too excited to tell you about this. A long time ago, but it was this century after one of the great wall market scandals. Somebody, some kind of Wall Street lawyer, some kind of attorney, who had no shot. Basically, he had no money to take this to court. He held a press conference saying, we've got all the evidence of blah, blah, blah. These white collar criminals basically stole all this money, and our plan is to disgorge them of their ill-gotten gains. And that's pretty much what I'm talking about. So if I can reintroduce the word disgorge to everybody, you know what? Call your local representatives now and say, get on board with Bernie Sanders and let's take care of this stuff. Enough already. All right. Easy, Breakaway Ray. Here comes a calm message from the tarot world about my animated and passionate statement about how about a more socialist society? You can't have society with a tiny bit of socialism. That's right. I'm talking about justice, everybody, and balance. And then I'm also talking about the Three of Pentacles implementing and building something and working together. And let's face it, we all need a Knight of Cups. We need a knight in shining armor. We need to have that attitude. We all have to be mindful that that's where we're going. We're here to cooperate and make sure that all of us have an equal share in the abundance. That should be our mindset, not so-and-so always gets something and I'm not in the right tax bracket to get anything. Everyone is entitled. God says that we all deserve it. That's why it's here on earth for us to enjoy. And the Hangman shows up again and says, you know what? We need to have another look at it. Gee, wasn't this the last card we saw in the White House one? The tarot world is not, making accidents happen here. There's a reason why this card showed up again. It may be tied to the last reading. And so, everybody, we have the Hierophant and the Nine of Wands. And the Hierophant talks about society. You know what? I'll read right what it says. Okay. Here's the Hierophant. Institutions, tradition, society and its rules. You know, when we're talking about how we organize our society and its rules, okay, I bet we all feel like the Nine of Wands. We're all worn out, we're all beat up, but we have a lot of experience, we have a lot of knowledge to empower ourselves. And this card says, you know, we're gearing up for one last stand. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. And so if you want to make quick work of the politics on your mind, you simply say, I'm gearing up for one last stand. We're going to have the mindset that the abundance is going to be returned to the commons, and those oligarchs, we're going to dissipate their energy one way or the other just through consciousness, just because we can see their end and their demise. That's me using my imagination, everybody. I want to thank the tarot world for these very clever cards. And now it's time for tarot for the audience. I'm going to give these a toss. That's the truth, everybody. Don't worry. Don't worry. That's upside down. Okay. Let me give these a toss. Okay. Wow. We have quite a large crowd. So here's what I'm going to do. Hang on, everybody. I'm going to get my laptop here. Okay. 1 second. I hope I don't mess things up. If I mess things up, everybody, just stay tuned. I'm going to go live again. But anyway, here I go. I learned this trick from Arizona Raven. Okay, so I just drew a line. I want to make sure all the people that requested a tarot reading already get their readings. And I want to be careful about how many I take on. So I'm drawing a line, and if I can add after the line, I will. But for right now, I'm going to guarantee everyone on top. How do you like that? Sweet. That's right, Sunny Side Up. I got you. Stand by. Nice request, Sunny Side Up. Let's go upstairs. I'm going to say hi to people now. I'm going to get your name tags out. I'll make you a new name tag. If you're new, here I go. Let me say hi to some people. So Sunny Side Up, good morning. Thanks a lot for joining me. I think I saw you yesterday too. I'm sorry we missed you, but I guess you're going to be first in line today. Who else we got? God's Flow, good morning. Thanks for joining me. You're up early, I think. See, Danny Hawk, thanks for joining me. All right. Hi, Lisa Talcott. Hey, Julia Anchorhaven. All right. Missing Time 420. Hi, Jason. Let's see. Hi, Judy. Mrs. NW5 out in London. All right. Thanks for the soda bubble hearts. I got to admit, I really dig the soda bubble hearts. Those things were really motivating, like really back like in August and September. Those things get me pumped up. All right. The rear gunner's here. All right. Hi, rear gunner. I know you got my back. Let's see. Safe Haven's here. Hi, Safe Haven. All right. Okay, so I'm going to get out the name tags now. I keep them in this former stationery box. Hey, Lisa Talcott, Punxsutawney Phil says that your snowman hasn't melted yet. Oh, okay, Jason, thanks for that message. I'm glad you're hanging out. That's cool. All right, let's see. That was a helpful message. Yeah, if you do not want a reading, go ahead and put that in the chat. Thank you very much. That affords me a chance to maybe give a reading to some new viewers. Okay, who did I? Yeah, the rear gunner. Hang on. Here we go, rear gunner. I think Judy has a Valentine. Oh, yeah. Hi, Danny Hawk. There you are, Judy. Yeah, Safe Haven. Nice request. I see it clearly. So I'm pretty sure Julia has, yeah. Hey, Julia, I got your schoolhouse. And Safe Haven. There we go. So I'm going to make a shamrock for Sunny Side Up because I don't think I have one for you, Sunny Side Up. Nishan. Yeah. Hi, Nishan. I must have missed you in the first scroll. I'm going to throw your name tag down, Nishan. Thank you, Nishan. There we go. Thanks for the help, Nishan. Oh, you had I don't know what's going on, Nishan. Okay, because I have 2 shamrocks for you. So let's double down. Well, want to split them like in Vegas? Okay. Okay, now I had to take care of Sunny Side Up. Oh, Kimberly. Hi, Kimberly. Did I really miss everybody like that? Here you go, Kim. No, here's Kimberly. Got it. Thanks, Kimberly. Who am I looking for? I got to make one for Sunny Side Up. Here we go. Sunny Side Up. Okay. It's okay if I miss someone. I'm going to scroll up right now and just make sure I didn't leave off any other names. I'm trying to stay organized. Thanks for being patient, everybody. Okay. God's Flow. Oh, God's Flow. I was looking for yours in the Valentine's, but you have a shamrock now. There we go, God's Flow. Okay, who else am I missing here? Sunny Side Up, got it. There's Kimberly. Now I see you, Kimberly. I got you, Nishan. Cool. Okay, so I'll recap for you all the name tags that I have, everybody. Julia Anchorhaven. Was I supposed to make someone's name tag? Okay. Julia. Safe Haven. Kimberly. Sunny Side Up. God's Flow. Judy. Danny. The Rear Gunner. Lisa. Whoa, there's more. Oh, yeah. Double Nishan action. Okay. Hey, everybody. Unless, like, I made a glaring mistake, these are the ones I'm going with. All right. And you know what? Nishan's going first. And then I think I'm going to put Kimberly Bamford right after him. All right. You know, everybody, like if you can't tune in, you got to go do something else. Just look for your name tag for your reading. But I'll try to give you the lineup right now. So Nishan, Kimberly, Sunny Side Up, Judy, Danny Haupt, the Rear Gunner, God's Flow, Safe Haven. Yo, I'm going to put Julia in front of Kimberly, okay? I know Julia's got like 5 things going on. So, Julia, you're coming up after Lisa. And then Lisa's up. So, in baseball terms, I guess you would be on the hole. In the hole, Lisa's on deck. And Nishan, you're up. Am I getting it right? Okay. Nishan, we're going to go Robin Wood for you. And like I said, we're going to split them. So I think should I go 2 decks for you? Let's see what happens. No, that's not what I want to do. This is what I want to do. All right. Hey, we're making good time too. All right. Hey, Tarot World. We want to split them, Tarot World. So let's play a little blackjack with Nishan. Okay. That'll be fine. He's going to split them. I'm sorry, Nishan. I don't know the gender. Was your name Laura? I can't remember. Anyway, Nishan, we're going to let you split them. The pit boss is watching. The Tarot World is dealing. Here we go. Female, that's right. Hi. Here you are, Nishan. These are your cards. Ooh, the Emperor is face up. And the Queen of Pentacles, the efficient, practical, working parent. All right, so I'm going to check your card under here to see if we want to stay. Oh, yeah, we want to stay. Okay, you want to hold these, okay? Now let me check this one to see if we want to hit. Wow. I don't think you want to hit either. All right, Nishan. So what did you get? Guess what? You know, usually the house wins. Today you won both hands. You have the Death card and the Emperor card. Endings, beginnings, transformations, and you're totally in control of whatever's going on. Okay? You win that one. Okay? The house can't even come close. That's like getting 21 in blackjack. Speaking of 21, this is the Queen of Pentacles, but that's like a 10. That's like a face card. You're a practical working parent. And guess what? You might as well add that member to the family or add that piece of furniture or appliance. It's the Ace of Pentacles. Maybe there's some kind of a refashioning, remodeling going on, whether it's figurative or literal in your home. Nishan, thank you for inviting me to read. This was a lot of fun. Cool. Tarot Blackjack. Who's next? That's right, Lisa Talcott. Yeah, right on, Nishan. You're welcome. Have a good one. Did I toss these yet? Hey, Lisa. Let's go cinematic with the mermaid cards. Here we go. All right, Tarot World. Well done. Nice Vegas flavor there. Viva Las Caro. And now, I guess Lisa liked the Vegas thing. Lisa, why don't we play Tarot Blackjack with you too? All right, let's deal for Lisa. It's Tarot Blackjack. A fun, inspirational message for Lisa. Ooh, you got the World card showing. And we're splitting them for Lisa, huh? Okay. You got 2 hands just as well. Okay. Which card is this? Ooh, the 7 of Swords. Something is hidden, but it's reversed. So something's being revealed. Let's check your first card here. You're hoping that this is like a face card. Yes. It's the King of Wands. He sees the big picture. You see the big picture, and you also see something completing. Maybe even something, like a major phase in your life. You see the completion. You recognize what's happening. And by the way, you got the face card and basically what's like an ace. So, okay, the house can't beat that. Okay, we're not even going to push. Now, something's being revealed over here. This is a 7. We want to make sure we get at least a 16. So let's see what's underneath here. 14. 14, temperance, balance. So, hey, is some new information coming to light? The temperance card suggests fasten your seatbelt and relax and be calm. It's going to be all right. Maintain your balance. Wow. I ought to stop right there. Very interesting cards. Thank you, Tarot World. I hope that was fun, Lisa. I'm going to give these a toss, and Julia Anchor Haven is up next. And I know Julia has requested the mermaid deck in the past. So, yeah, Julia, I'm going to throw mermaid cards for you. Here we go. Why don't we deal why don't we deal Julia a poker hand? 5 card? I kind of like yeah, that's right. That's what we'll do. We'll go 5 card for you. How you like that, Julia? How about a positive, fun, inspirational message in a game format? Let's play poker. We need 2 cards here, the top one and the bottom one, and then 3 cards for Julia. And here's what's cool, Julia. We don't know what these cards are, but we can swap out one of these. And I'm going to act like you've given me the executive decision-making ability to swap out a card and draw another one. You could swap out all 3. By the way, if you're in the chat right now, if you want to tell me which card you want to swap out, we can change the story, okay? So anyway, let's see what your 3 cards are. Again, we're not looking at these until the end. Wow, you have the 5 of Pentacles, the 7 of Wands, and the 6 of Wands. So now the 6 of Wands talks about public recognition, okay? And that's kind of your bag. So I say we hold on to that one, okay? The 7 of Wands talks about somebody getting away with something. It also talks about something that's hidden or something that's being revealed. And even though this dude is like, doing scuba, when you're swimming in another environment, that does remind me of people like in a spacesuit. I mean, after all, they supposedly train our astronauts in spacesuits in pools. Okay. So I would want to hold on to this because this is like related to what your show is. But the 5 of Pentacles shows up, and the 5 of Pentacles talks about, hardship and misery, etc. I say we get rid of this card. Let's pull another one. Let's put this one away. We'll draw another card. So, hi, Daisy Joan. I see your message. I'm very happy that you're joining us, but I did draw a line earlier up in the chat, and I have a full complement of readings right now. Please stand by. I'm not sure I'll be able to add you. Anyway, thank you, Daisy Joan, for joining us. Here we go. So let's see how the cards turned out for Julia. Remember, we're talking about her podcast, basically. We're trying to bolster this is what we're accentuating. You pulled the 4 of Swords, the power of meditation, manifestation. Totally chill, right? And then the end of the story, yay! It's the Emperor and the 6 of Pentacles. The Emperor is totally in control, and the 6 of Pentacles talks about giving and receiving, exchanging, even, getting paid for your services. So I think you drew the right card. We're not going to focus on 5 of Pentacles. We're going to meditate to achieve our aims, which should be, the great exchange of ideas and other energies at your podcast. Right on, Julia. Thanks a lot for inviting me to read. Thank you, Daisy Joan. I appreciate it. All right. Let's see who's next. Oh, it's Kimberly Bamford. Here we go, Kimberly. Sunny side up. You're on deck. Kimberly Bamford. Here we go, Kimberly. I wonder what, should we play a little 7-card draw for Kimberly Bamford? Why not? And then Kimberly, if you're like in the chat and you want to swap out particular cards, let me know. I'm sure we'll agree on how we want to play it. So let's give 2 cards for the bottom. We'll play a 5-card hand. 5 cards for you. There we go. My choice. All right, Kimberly. Thank you. I see your message in the chat. So we're going to hold on to these. We don't know what these are going to be. I want to see like a 3 of a kind somewhere. I feel like that's where the magic's going to be, a 3 of a kind. First up, the 4 of Wands, celebration and homecoming. The Nine of Cups. It's a wish come true. Hey, party at Kimberly's house. The Queen of Cups. Yeah, there she is, our hostess, the Queen of Cups. I would like to read from the book about the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups. Emotional stability, femininity, love and warmth surround you. There might be a mature female in your life who is supportive and caring towards you, or you might be a sensitive, caring, nurturing soul yourself, an empath or a good mother. You are intuitive in the flow, a daydreamer, a psychic, and a good listener. Well, there's lots of domestic connotations, but this also kind of tells us about the home in your mind, as far as being a psychic and exploring those energies in that part of yourself. And that's followed with, look at that, the Seven of Pentacles and the Six of Cups. This is something, this psychic, this intuition that you have, you've been cultivating this all along, your whole life long. It's the Six of Cups. It's been, something that's part of your life, since you were a kid. Well, that's a great timeline. I don't know if I want to swap out any of these cards. I think we're going to win. We have the Knight of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles. So I'll read to you about the Ten of Pentacles. Because again, we were talking about, being a host and homecoming. These are both homes and celebrations. Here, this is a wish come true. It almost couldn't have turned out any better. Whatever the situation was, it couldn't have turned out any better. And a lot of it had to do with you cultivating it again. I bet, if you ever went to a high school reunion, some people would say, you know what, you haven't changed at all. Anyway, let's go back here and read about the Ten of Pentacles. You have created wealth, financial security, and long-term success. You have built solid foundations and security, and now feel happiness in all areas of life. You may have domestic bliss, a lasting career, or a business empire, or you may have reached relationship milestones and may be settling down. And I just want to say that, when you join us here at STARCARD Podcast, we benefit from, the glory of your ride. We're riding your coattails. You bring a lot of fun and light to the show. Thank you, Kimberly Bamford. That was a fun throw. Thank you, Kimberly. I appreciate your message. You're welcome, Kimberly. Thank you. Next up, it's Sunny Side Up. All right, Sunny Side Up. Thanks for inviting me to read. These cards are for Sunny Side Up. Let's have a positive, fun, inspirational message for Sunny Side Up, please. Thank you. Great fireworks, Tarot World. So glad we turned on the camera. Here we go. These cards are for Sunny Side Up. These cards are for Sunny Side Up. Thank you. Well, Sunny Side Up, let's let them roll. Wow. Well, let's slow down. Here's the Nine of Swords. That's the sleepless nights person. Someone's got something on their mind, maybe a little bit of anxiety. Something's bothering Sunny Side Up or somebody. Don't worry. We're going to turn this card upside down pretty soon. Yeah, because here's the Emperor card that says we are in control. We are in control of, what we think about before we go to bed. No one lives rent-free in our minds. I'm going to turn this card upside down pretty soon here, Sunny Side Up. I mean, after all, your name is Sunny Side Up. So don't worry. We're going to turn this card upside down. You're totally in control here. Maybe that's your thing. It's like you brighten everyone's day. Is that the deal? The Ten of Wands. Well, maybe you brighten everyone's day, but it sure is a lot of work, says the Ten of Wands. But the Ace of Pentacles says it's worth it. When you do this and you choose what you pay attention to, you streamline your efforts and the universe likes it and is going to send you more of what you need. Remember, the song Frank Sinatra used to sing from the 1930s, The Sunny Side of the Street. Well, I encourage you to listen to that song. It ought to remind you of your handle and the right attitude. Focus on, the sun and what's shining, and just send your energy that way. Again, you're in control of what you think about. And when I say you, I mean people in general, right? Everyone's in charge of what they think about. And if you got something in your mind and sometimes people have, like me, you have thoughts, they perseverate. Okay. That's when you really got to get like the Four of Swords out, sit down, meditate, relax, and say, why can't I let this thought go? Let's take a look at this thought. Where is this coming from? And then ask for help. These are just some thoughts that I'm sharing with you based on other things that I've heard. I don't have any credentials or college degrees in life coaching. I'm just some guy on the internet throwing cards. Anyway, wow. I'm going to say this is good news, sunny side up. Because of your ability to always look at the sunny side of things and how you control your energies, the universe keeps sending you new adventures, new projects, new opportunities. And it sounds like it's part of your life plan because look at you go. You are also the Empress. Let's read about the Empress. By the way, at StarCard Podcast, we have a playlist called 5 Days with the Empress. It was so much fun. We learned a lot. Let's read about the Empress right now. The Empress, there is beauty, abundance, femininity in your life. There may be a new opportunity. I'll just move it down here. There may be a new opportunity, romance, art, or new business on the horizon. Focus on your senses and on creative expression when you will experience pleasure and deep fulfillment. Yeah, by the way, how many times have you had something on your mind, but then you went and pursued your art or you went and worked out and you were able to, regather yourself and compose yourself, okay? Because that's what you're all about. You came into this life with a lot of the Empress's powers already. All right. Keep up the good work, sunny side up. I want your autograph when you get famous. Thank you very much. Next up, it's Judy. And Judy has often asked for one card or even 3 cards. I'm going to go ahead and throw her 3 cards. So let me just get these tossed, and then we'll switch to Judy. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being my friend today and hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I don't know where I'd be without you. 3 cards for Judy. Here we go. Ethereal Bloom. These cards are for Judy. Thanks for tuning in. Way out in NW5. Hey, Judy, I don't think I mentioned this to you, but I enjoyed going to the Courtauld Gallery. Was that in Berkeley Square? They had all those rare Impressionist paintings. This was back in the 80s. Anyway, here we go, Judy. 3 cards for you. Thanks for tuning in from London. Is there some kind of dancing on your schedule today? Probably every day, right? That's probably not like very psychic of me. Anyway, the 9 of Wands, the King of Swords, and the Chariot. Here in Los Angeles, we have lots of freeways, and sometimes people lose their composure while they're driving the car. It's something called road rage. And I want you to join me in my car right now. I'm in my car. I witnessed someone else in an act of road rage. Their face is getting flushed. You can pretty much see the rippling of their aura from inside their car. I can feel sorry for them, but I don't have to participate in that. Okay. So why did I say all that? How many times have we been in a situation? Well, we've seen this before. This is not going to come out great. Okay, but I do recognize the situation, but I could do a few dance moves to maneuver my way around it. So, I can lessen the impact. I guess there's something about finesse in this message. So anyway, Judy, thank you very much for inviting me to read. If anyone is graceful and has finesse, I know it's you. That's right. I remember, Judy, you told me about that. I mean, Judy's message in the chat. Thanks again, Judy. Hey, Danny, here you go. Hey, Danny, I enjoy your comments. That's pretty interesting. I'm happy to throw cards for you. Let's. I don't know, did you have a particular request? I'm wondering if I. Here we go. Let's go to the classic ones. Here we go. Yeah, talk about road rage. Look at this guy. Get out of my way. All right. Hey, Tarot World. How about a fun, inspirational message for Danny? Danny Haupt. Thank you very much. Are people surprised by how much energy you have? Like they'll just be going along and everything will seem quiet, but then all of a sudden Danny comes in and somehow everything got done. Kind of like that superhero, The Flash. How did you do all that? You seem unfazed by things that might trouble other people. I want to say again, Danny, thanks for inviting me. Let's see what the cards have to say. Wow. The World card. Let's read about the World card. Completion, accomplishment, wholeness, attainment, fulfillment, travel, celebration of life, and arriving. I'm supposed to go like this here. Okay. And then the Three of Wands says, maybe you got there through long-term careful planning. The Three of Wands is the card that says luck is where preparation meets opportunity. The Three of Wands, preparation, progress, foresight, enterprise, expansion, and even overseas opportunities. Wow, look at you go. Here's the Justice card. Justice, fairness, truth, clarity, equality, balance, cause and effect, and law. Wow, check you out. And then there's the King of Swords. Head over heart, discipline, truthful, honest, mental clarity, and authority. You're totally on the right track. Not only like in a cerebral sense, but in an ethical sense. And you take a step in that direction every day, you have a very good view of how the world is shaping up around you. There's a certain progression of maturity in the phases of your life and how you perceive things, all along going in the right direction. These are pretty powerful cards here, Danny Haupt. And so the message closes with the Five of Wands, the orchestrated drama, guys. Okay. And the Eight of Pentacles, I'll read to you about the Eight of Pentacles. Diligence, passion, high standards, apprenticeship, mastery, skill development, repetitive tasks. Repetitive tasks don't trouble you as long as you know you're going somewhere with it. You're not here to spin your wheels and fritter away your energy, but you got no problem. It's like a martial arts lesson. It's the very first Karate Kid movie when the poor kids all I've been doing is waxing on and waxing off. How's this helping me learn karate? Well, it turns out you build up your muscles, so you don't mind doing all the extra work as long as you're going in the right direction. And you know what? When you see everyone else causing a kerfuffle and everyone's getting upset, you actually think it's like part of the drama. It's like you could just change the channel on that. You could watch something peaceful. So we could turn that upside down. That's no concern to you because you already know what the truth is. You know where you're going. All right, Danny, that was a lot of fun to read. Thanks very much for inviting me to read. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Danny. I really appreciate that feedback in the chat. I promise you that's going to really keep me pumped up. Till next time, I just want to say I cut the shuffle, and there's the Hierophant. There's the Learned Man. Okay, another picture of you. It's like your driver's license picture. Okay, let me get these shuffled. And I have 3 more left. I see Arizona Raven is here. Hey, Arizona Raven, I won't be able to get to a reading for you today. I'm sure glad that you're here. Rear Gunner, you're up. I'm going to go Rear Gunner, God's Flow, and then Safe Haven. Let's see, Rear Gunner. Let's go. Whoa, I'm going to have to fix my studio after the show. Wow, look at that. Let's go to the Mermaid deck. Here we go, Rear Gunner. Thanks, Arizona Raven. These cards are for rear gunner. Well, that one's for you. These cards are for the rear gunner. Should I pick another card? I'm asking the tarot world. All right, since I asked, I'm going to take one. Here we go. These cards are for you, rear gunner. Thanks for tuning in again. Cool. The Chariot. The Chariot has shown up a couple times today. Movement. Let's go ahead and go to the book on the Chariot. You are confident and have the drive to overcome obstacles. Geez, I could just stop right there. I know that that's the rear gunner. Moving forward in a positive direction. You are now channeling your inner power with a fierce dedication to bring your goals to fruition. Keep going on, and through hard work and commitment, you will succeed. So I remember rear gunner. Last time we spoke, one of the last times I said I like to interview my students on a daily basis to find out how they're doing. According to the book, you're really making progress. Good for you. You're ahead of schedule. Okay, next up, the Four of Cups. It's a state of meditation. All right. I don't know if you're familiar with the military world, but I think that, from a military person's perspective, we could see that this guy is missing out. This is what you do on your downtime when you're not on the clock. You went ahead and you emptied some bottles. Meanwhile, there's a mermaid and, you're too caught up in your own thoughts. You're not even checking out your opportunity there. That mermaid should swim away and I wouldn't blame her. Okay. She's just looking for someone to hang out with. And this guy's like not paying attention. He's missing out. Anyway, if they don't want us around, they're missing out. We got other stuff to do. We're on our seahorse and we're riding. Next up, it's the devil. Okay. Always dramatic, rear gunner. The devil is, we got to let something go. There you see a mermaid that's trapped in a cage. We got to let something go. It even talks about a shadow self. And I want to say, there's a bunch of George Lucas movies, but there's Star Wars, and then one he did at USC when he was in college, THX, some THX 1139. I know Jason in the chat, Missing Time 420. I know he knows the title of that movie. But in any case, they made a decision at the end of that movie. You know what? It wasn't worth the resources to expend to continue the pursuit of whatever they were doing. And that's how the protagonist in the movie from the George Lucas movie from when he was at USC ended, right? They just said, call it quits. You know what? Cut your losses and let's just go on with our show. Okay. So where am I getting at here? We're going forward. Okay. If we can't be appreciated, okay, that's their problem. We can't worry about it anymore. We're going to cut our losses because we are the King of Pentacles. We already have a mission and a kingdom to take care of. It's a blessing that the past is not in our way anymore. We're going to be much more effective focusing on our own kingdom. Therefore, we close with the Five of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups. So while the Five of Pentacles, I'm going to turn it upside down right now. The Five of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups are like looking at our situation in a mirror reverse image. The Five of Pentacles, oh no, misery, financial straits, hard times. Psh, no way. You're supposed to, hey, everybody, if you go to the description, you check out Margot Elise Miller. This is one of her things. If you see that there's losses around you, you need to go out and celebrate those because the Seven of Cups says there's all kinds of opportunities out there. If you're going to hold on to, the miserable Five Pentacles you had, okay, you're going to miss out on 7 different opportunities to go on a game show and win money. Hey, Rear Gunner, it was inspiring for me to share these cards with you. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Oh, no, am I messing up with the buffering? I'm sorry about that, everybody. I appreciate your patience. All right, you're welcome, Rear Gunner. Yeah, God's flow, you're up. That's right. So God's flow, happy birthday. Yeah, let's do a poker hand for you. We'll throw 5 cards. We'll see if we need to draw some extras. And if today's your birthday, I just want to say happy birthday. I'm so happy for you. Thanks for celebrating it here at StarCard with me and all of our friends in the chat. Oh, on January 11th, you turned 55. You youngster. You were a freshman when I was a senior. 111. I think isn't that Rob Khalil's birthday too? Anyway, right. So yeah, let's play poker with God's flow. Here we go. 55, huh? Wow. I'm not a young buck at 55 anymore. Whoa, that one came out. There's 2 more. Well, okay, we're going to have to play 7 card then. 1 more card. So I want to see if I can get some 5s for you, or maybe some aces for your 111. And anyway, let's see how we build the message. Hang on. Okay, I think I got it now. All right, we're going to leave these 2 cards hidden. The 8 of Cups, the 7 of Swords. It was reversed. It's that one spins around all the time anyway. The 3 of Pentacles. I like all these cards so far. No straight though. The Chariot and the 9 of Wands. Looks like a timeline. I don't see a card that we need to swap out at all. But here we go. The 8 of Cups. We walked away. The 7 of Swords. Something was hidden and it was revealed. And then a new relationship was established. A new project was started with the 3 of Pentacles. And that gathered some momentum, says the Chariot card. And now the 9 of Wands says we've accrued a lot of experience with our ups and downs over the bumpy road. I really like the way all these cards kind of seem really practical. Sometimes you need to walk away when you learn stuff. I mean, if you can't learn and grow, you can't move forward. So it's okay. You know, when we're little kids, we're riding our bikes on our 9th birthday. When we got our first bike, we fell off, we skinned our knee. But you know what? We learned something. We learned something about keeping our balance and aiming our steering wheel, our handlebars in the right direction. Okay. I don't see a need to swap out any cards. I don't know if you want to swap out any cards. Let's leave it. Okay, so then let's see what our hand turns out with. Wow. The Strength card and the 6 of Pentacles. So the 6 of Pentacles talks about giving and receiving. So hopefully you were receiving a lot of gifts on your birthday. Okay. And also it talks about energies being cycled. And the Strength card kind of puts like an upside down exclamation point on that. Maybe you are really good at generating energies among the people that you are with. Interactions with others are pretty intense. So it might seem, maybe from other people's points of view, if that's maybe what people think. You must have a powerful influence, I suppose, when you interact with others. Wow. That is central to your timeline theme. It wasn't much of a poker hand, God's flow, but it does acknowledge and salute your intense touch with those around you. Anyway, God's flow, obviously I wish you a happy birthday. Thanks for befriending me. I'm happy you're here. I hope that was a fun reading. Thank you very much. And then finally, Safe Haven. Here we go. Here we go, Safe Haven. I'm going to go back to the Mermaid deck to close the show. These cards are for Safe Haven. Thank you, Safe Haven, for tuning in to StarCard Podcast. A fun, positive message for Safe Haven, please. Thank you very much. These cards are for Safe Haven. Here we go, Safe Haven. Okay, you get all three of those. This is for entertainment purposes only. It's been fun for me, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Here we go, Safe Haven. The Queen of Swords. You were right, Safe Haven. The Moon. You knew it deep in your subconscious. Okay, you were really correct. Not just like in your waking state, but you knew it all along. Wow. That's the Moon card. And this is the Strength card, by the way. This also could be the story of a really powerful dream that's sending you a message. Wow, check this out. And then there is the Devil card, which talks about the shadow side and letting something go. Maybe, I'm just making a suggestion here, there was a dream that was so real and yet a little bit discomforting, and perhaps there's something that we have to let go. I hope I'm not reading into your cards what I am reading about what I need to let go. I sometimes get a dream like that. Well, Safe Haven, let's see how the rest of the message comes out. We have good news, I'm going to say. Temperance, the Balance card, the Page of Cups, the Happy Surprise guy, and the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles says, prizing what shines. And you see she's over by the waterfall washing her hair. Lovely image there. So there's perhaps a strong dream or maybe there's something that basically we just need to let go. Whatever it is, could be something maybe we don't even remember. It's just like a feeling that doesn't belong. You know, we're in our highest timeline and we're being happy. You know, there seems to be something that's holding it up. There's like a tiny little bump. So, but anyway, as we said, maintain your balance. You're going to have a happy surprise if you just, you know, keep your eye on the prize what shines, only focus on what makes you happy, pursue your joy, be creative. Okay, that's what's going to help keep your balance. You're going to be surprised about how well that works out. No matter how dark and dramatic these cards may seem, it's the right thing to do. You were right. Okay, so way to go, Safe Haven. Thanks for inviting me to read. I really appreciate it. All right, everybody. You made my day. My name is Breakaway Ray, and now get out there and make your own day. Thanks a lot for tuning in to StarCard Podcast. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. See you next time. All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.